3 days before Christmas, snow fell gently over the small town of Maplewood, Ohio, turning streets into postcards. For most people, it was the most comforting time of the year. For Emily Parker, it was the day her world quietly collapsed. Emily sat across from her manager in a glass-walled office, the Christmas tree in the lobby blinking cheerfully behind him. She barely heard the words at first: budget cuts, restructuring, nothing personal. What she did hear was the final sentence. "Today will be your last day." She nodded politely, thanked him for the opportunity, and walked out with a cardboard box in her arms. Inside were 10 years of loyalty, a framed photo of her late mother, a chipped coffee mug that read "World's Okayest Employee," and a neatly folded resume she'd updated just last month, just in case. She never thought she'd need it before Christmas. At 32, Emily was a single mother to a 7-year-old boy named Noah. His entire world revolved around Christmas, Santa, lights, cocoa, and one specific red bicycle he'd circled in a store catalog weeks ago. Emily had promised him she'd see what she could do. Now, as she sat in her car in the freezing parking lot, her phone buzzed. A reminder from her bank app: rent due in 5 days. She didn't cry right away. She drove home. She cooked boxed macaroni. She smiled while Noah told her about his school's holiday play. Only after he fell asleep, clutching a stuffed reindeer, did she finally break down at the kitchen table, head in her hands, shoulders shaking silently so he wouldn't hear. The next morning, Emily bundled up and headed to the public library. She printed copies of her resume, retail management, customer service, inventory control, 10 years of experience, and walked from store to store, asking about openings. Every answer was the same. After the holidays. Corporate hiring freeze. Try again in January. By late afternoon, her fingers were numb, and her hope felt thinner than the snow beneath her boots. She stopped at a small cafe near the bus station just to warm up. She ordered the cheapest thing on the menu and sat by the window, pulling out her resume again, circling lines, wondering what she'd done wrong in life to end up here. That's when it happened. A man at the next table stood up to leave. He was in his early 40s, wearing a worn wool coat, carrying himself with quiet confidence. As he passed by, a gust of wind from the opening door lifted one of Emily's resumes off the table. It fluttered to the floor near his feet. "Oh, sorry," Emily said quickly, standing up. The man bent down, picked it up, and paused. He didn't just hand it back. He read it. For a few seconds, Emily felt exposed, like someone was reading her diary. She opened her mouth to apologize again, but he spoke first. "You managed 3 locations?" he asked. "Yes," she said cautiously. "And trained new hires?" "Yes." He looked up, meeting her eyes. "You were fired?" "Let go," she corrected softly. "Before Christmas." The man nodded, folded the resume carefully, and handed it back. "My name's Daniel Brooks," he said. "I own a logistics company about 20 minutes from here." Emily forced a polite smile. She'd heard this before, people making conversation, offering sympathy, nothing more. "We're short-staffed," Daniel continued. "And frankly, I don't trust online resumes. Too polished. Too fake." He tapped the paper. "This looks real." Emily blinked. I'm sorry. "I'm asking if you want an interview," he said. "Tomorrow morning." She thought it was a joke. Or pity. Or both. But the next morning, she stood in a modest office building, hands trembling, answering questions she'd answered 100 times before. Daniel didn't interrupt. He listened. When she talked about balancing work and motherhood, about missing promotions because she needed flexible hours, about showing up every day no matter what, he nodded slowly. At the end of the interview, he stood and extended his hand. "You start Monday," he said. "Salary. Benefits. And paid time off. Emily's knees nearly gave out. But, it's Christmas week, she whispered. Exactly, Daniel replied. No one should start the new year afraid. That night, Emily wrapped Noah's red bicycle in borrowed paper from a neighbor. On Christmas morning, his scream of joy filled the apartment. As he hugged her, she held him tight, realizing that sometimes miracles don't come wrapped in lights or bows, but in strangers who choose kindness. Months later, Emily would learn that Daniel had once been fired himself, right before Christmas, years ago. A stranger had once taken a chance on him. And now, the cycle continued. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel.